Hey YouTubers, how you doing today? I hope everybody had a great day. My day was fantastic. I was welcomed back to work. As y'all know, today was my first day back to work after vacation, which was phenomenal. It wasn't so bad. I thought it was going to be like this long day and everything like that, but actually it turned out to be a great day. Truthfully, a really great day. I think my boo-boo want to get into the video today. But anyway, sorry. Today's topic will be about changing your ways. The reason why this topic is about changing your ways. Today was a discussion, and I had to realize that I'm doing these YouTube videos for a reason. And the reason I'm doing these YouTube pages is because of the things that I'm dealing with as an individual. Like losing my oomph. When I say I'm losing my oomph, my creativity. I lost a part of me that's emotional. I'm always with bricks up. A lot of the thickest bricks you can think of in this world. That's basically me. I'm very standoffish. I'm very withdrawn from a lot of different things. I don't really like crowd. I'm very much of a loner. I have been that way for a very long time. And sometimes that really do intervene with me developing different type of friendships. And when you're that type of way, it's hard to get to another part. I'm going to say development within self. The reason why I choose development as the word I want to use as describing me right now is because it makes a lot of sense. When you're going through different projects in life, you get to a certain point when you start developing the layers on it. Okay? And when you get stuck in your ways, you develop layers. Develop layers and layers and layers and layers and layers till it get to the point where you can't even get to the top anymore. So they just started squeezing in between where they can fit. And as for me, those layers those layers gotten to a point where they're sometimes are outrageous. So anyway, back to the topic of hand. The reason why I say changing self, or I need to change more of me to become a better person. I want to be later down the line, once I get to the point where I know exactly what I want to do, I want to be an example. I want to be a motivator. I want to be able to tell beyond a story of who Nicole really is. And it starts with how you speak to people, how you present yourself, how you take shots. When I mean shots, everybody has a different personality. Some people don't know how to project themselves properly. Some people are shortchanged. When I mean shortchanged, they don't comprehend well like we will comprehend or I will comprehend. They are a little slower. And when they're in that state of mind, you have to know how to present yourself to them. Because when you feel as though they're attacking you, they're not really attacking you. It's the point where that's just who they are. And that's how they know how to deal with certain things. You know, I don't want to say out their character. So I'm going to just say that way. Like, you know, they're slow or their mental function is not as keen as ours are. I can say I've put it in that perspective. So I have to restrain on how I use certain words and terms when in directing to certain people. Like, I talked to an individual at work, and this person has a self-esteem that's so very low, and my approach is so hard and strong, and I just say what the hell comes out my mouth, and I had to pull back. And someone said, "No, you have to," but then I'm like, I can't, because when you look at certain things, and I'm learning when I speak to people, and I'm learning when I have certain discussions now, and things like that. Being too aggressive to a person who has a low self-esteem that can snap and take their own life at any given time, it's like a form of bullying, because they already have a low self-esteem. Then they have you, who they look into as a friend, and they hold on to you tight because that's all they have, and you listen to them and you let them lower their burdens on you and so forth for their worries, and you listen and they're like, oh my gosh, she's a good friend to me, etc. So sometimes you can't give them that 100% of you. You have to bring it down a level. It's not being hypocritical to them. It's not being, what's the words I can properly use? Make them feel like they're right in a sense. It's just being an ear. Because sometimes that's all a person needs is an ear. It's not always being criticized. Because if you've already been criticized so much in your life, and you look into this individual as a friend, you don't want that friend to criticize you, deep down inside, and feel some, and then they're feeling some type of way. Like, I come to Nicole all the time, and all she do is bash me, or things like that. And I feel sometimes I can be a bully, and that's not the thing that I want to give off, because it's bad. It's really hurtful. And then I did a video with Keisha Cole and Beyonce, and how Keisha is being like a bully in a sense. She did that to Michelle Williams also with the Super Bowl thing. At the end of the day, it's all forms of bullying. And at some point, when you go through a lot of different things, and the way you come out of it, you gotta withdraw. You have to withdraw. Some people who may know me see this video and be like, I'm being hypocritical, I'm this and that. But after you have, like I said, when you're involved into a discussion and you hear the words that's being transpired between the two of the individuals, it's like, wow, that's really effed up. Like, I'm like a bully, or my aggression could be a bully form because I'm too strong, I'm too opinionated, I'm too this, that, and the other. And I truthfully don't want to come off that way anymore. My YouTube pages are supposed to be inspiring, inspirational, and things like that. Maybe my struggles and my journey on how I develop will help somebody else that may be going through a certain situation. I want to be able to build up an individual, not knock them down. Because you know why? I've been in those places before, and that stuff is no joke. When you don't have people there for you, and you feel like you conquering your struggles yourself. I read enough books, I hear enough stories, I've seen enough things. I've been through things myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, so I know exactly how it is, when you don't have a certain kind of support team. I had to, I always have this thing of reflecting my life on the people who came and they went and they stopped and they spoke their wisdom. Some wisdom didn't make sense, but at the same time, it was a lesson learned to me. So I think I may be onto something with my channels. In the beginning, I said you never know what you get. I am different from most, and I truly am going to stick by that saying, and I am different than most. I don't take too many things lightly. I do wear sometimes my emotions on my sleeve, because I have a tendency of thinking I'm always right, or or let me see, what else can I say in this predicament right here? I'm not too sure, but sometimes I'm like all over the place with a lot of different things. I'm just going to sum it up like that. But I guess when you're in a situation and that's the only thing you got to hold on to because you figure that's all you have, and you don't have nobody to really say this is this, but then at the same time, when you went through it and somebody said this was this and this was this, you really didn't listen. So I guess it's to the point where when you really truly get fed up of your situation and you want better for yourself, then you would change. But then it comes back to loving yourself. How much do you really truly love yourself to get out of certain situations? And that hit home today because I was on my Instagram page and I read something for, was it Man Fit today? And it was an inspiration, something inspirational. Someone had asked her where did she get her motivation from for doing all what she does with working out and things. And she said she was depressed. And as all y'all know, I suffer from depression. So she took something positive. She took something that was negative and turned it into something positive. And she said she transformed that into working out. She loved working out. And before you know it, she was doing it on a consistent basis. And then she got to the point where, you know, you always got those people in the background that don't cheer you on. That always downsizing you and always putting you into a place where you can't achieve, and things like that. And she took that as her strive, and she continued, and she's phenomenal. The things that she does with working out and how she bends her body and things like that is like, wow, I wish I could do that. But like she said in her on her post today, you have to be your own motivator. You have to be your own motivator. You have to push yourself to your expectations. Don't let people knock you down. I'm getting emotional right now because I've been through it. And I know how it is when somebody take certain things from you and they just make you feel like you're worthless, and they just really hurt you bad. And it's like how do I escape this? How do I get out of this? And it's like you got people telling you on X, Y, and Z, and and this, that, and the other. But when it comes down to it, you feel like this is all you have. It's no escape because of the things that might be said in the privacy or etc., etc. You know, words is very wicked. Words are very, very wicked. I remember when I was in a 6-year relationship with somebody when I had just turned 18 and my family moved to North Carolina. We had a family house down there. I'm sorry, guys. You know, certain things just touch me from other things, and you know, having a low self-esteem is the worst thing you possibly can have, and not having confidence and things like that it's really, 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 whew. But anyway, we dated for 6 years. I was 18, he was 17. He just turned 17 and I just turned 18, and we moved down there. First, I think I met him. I think the first time we met, we was on a family vacation, and my cousin met him, and they was playing football, and something happened, and he stuck up for my cousin or something because he knew my cousin was new in town, etc., etc. And then before you know it, they was like best buds. Okay, so because of what type of person I was and what type of person he was like, "Oh, you'll be great for my cousin Nicole." So he said, "Cool, I would like to meet your cousin." So this one particular day, it was like really hot in North Carolina. For you North Carolinians, I'm pretty sure you know how it is and when you're down south, etc. And me and my cousins, we was running in the house. We had on like our little baggy shorts, just being teenagers, and my aunt and uncle was like, "Y'all stop acting foolish," blah blah blah. You know, it was good times or whatever. You know, we young teenage girls in and out of the house, doing hair on the porch, uncle cutting the grass in the front yard, whatever. So anyway, they came back from playing football or whatever. He comes to the house. So my cousin said, "Nicole, we're going to call him X. Okay? Okay. This is X, this is Nicole." So we said hi. And then he introduced X to my aunt. Okay. Alright. So we flirted or whatever. He was a very handsome guy. Very handsome guy. Very, very handsome. And we flirted, and me and my cousins, we was doing each other's hair. So I wanted to go to school for cosmetology at the time, so I said, "Well, can I put finger waves in your hair?" It was funny. So he was like, "Sure, why not?" And then on top of that, I was eating a bowl of cereal when I asked him. So he said, "Well, can I have your cereal since you're going to put girly finger waves in my hair?" So I said, "Sure, even trade." So anyway, that's how we basically kicked it off. Okay, so as time went on, the first year, so we left, and then I think we came back, and that's when something happened in New Jersey, and my aunt was like, "No, she can't take it. She wants us to go down south, go to school, get an education. She's tired of this, blah, blah, blah." So we was like, "Sure, why not? Something different." You know, we kids, we teenagers, whatever, so sure, why not? So at this time, I'm 18, and I'm still a virgin. So before we actually moved down, I lost my virginity to a good friend. We still friends to this day. Everything. He's doing very well for himself. I'm very proud of him. But anyway, so we come back. My cousin calls him up, whatever, and tell him that we here. But then my cousin had to go back. He took a bus back for some kind of emergency or something. I don't know. I don't remember. Well, he went back to Jersey for some reason. Sorry, something on my face. But anyway. So it was just me and my cousin down there. So, okay. So, something really bad happened at the house. So, we like calling home, trying to figure out what's going on or whatever. And we had a cousin, an older cousin taking care of us and things like that. So, then one night, so my cousin had called him or whatever. And he came over, he took us out to eat and so forth, so forth. And then from there, we just kind of like we were stuck like glue. But anyway, let me get to the point. We dated and we dated and we dated. And I finally met his parents. This is when the mental abuse kicked in. His mother was 5'4". I'm going to say 5'4", 4'5". I'm going to say 4'5", because I'm 5'5", so she was shorter than me. I'm going to say his mother was 4'5". She was short. She worked very hard. They had a nice setup or whatever. Very family oriented to a certain extent. The lady liked what I could do. Like, when she wanted her hair washed, curled, I was good for her son. When she didn't need me for anything, I wasn't good for her son. And she started off with the mental abuse. I never really knew what mental abuse was until I moved down there and I had to deal with his mother. She would say, "You're really dark." So I was like, "Excuse me?" She was like, "You're dark. You're darker than my son and my daughter." I said, "Well, I'm a dark-skinned girl. So, I mean, like, how do you tell you 18, I was still 18 or going into 19 at the time, so how do you explain to somebody's mom that's just your complexion tone? What can you do about that?" Okay. So every time I came over, it seemed like you're getting darker, you should stay out in the sun. I'm like, okay. Alright. Okay. So, alright. I mean, what do you say to somebody who say you're getting darker, stay out in the sun? I'm a dark-skinned girl. What the hell can I do about being dark-skinned? Okay. So, time went on. Then she complained because I never wore dresses. I was a tomboy. Straight up. I played football in Jersey with the boys and them. I was a tomboy. What girl wasn't a tomboy? Until you get to a certain point, you want to put on some heels and look sexy for the boys. Every girl's a tomboy. Some might not be, some might. Who knows? I was a tomboy and I enjoyed every bit of it because I enjoyed having fun as a youth. That's all it was. Why is she always wearing pants? Is she a lesbian? Have to be a lesbian for wearing pants all the time? Really? Okay, so that was another thing she picked on. Okay, so then he was graduating. Okay, so being that he was graduating from high school, I'm going to his graduation, so I went out and I bought a dress. The dress I bought wasn't pretty enough. If I wore dresses more often, then my dress would have been pretty enough. So one day I said, nothing I do is pleasing your mom, and I can't understand that. I said, but I'm dating you. I'm not really dating her. So because it was years getting involved in this, he was like, well, if we're going to be together and we talking about marriage and kids one day, then you got to deal with it. So I'm like, okay, so I did everything in my heart to please this lady, so she can accept me, she can accept me, she can accept me. I didn't never go outside during the day. I would go outside when the sun go down so I wouldn't get darker. I made sure I tried to buy skirts. I made sure I bought shorts and things like that. Just show her that I can be girly. I made sure my hair was done. I kept my hair very nice. Still wasn't good enough. So then it was more this. Oh, you gaining too much weight. So I starved myself. I was putting my finger in my mouth to make sure and things like that. And then his before I get into that part, okay. So then we started being intimate with one another. Well, that started quick. It really did. We was young and we both had just literally before. If I'd have got there a little sooner, I would have lost my virginity with him. But it just so happened he just lost his, I just lost mine. It was by coincidence. Our whole dealings was definitely by coincidence. So anyway, I got pregnant by him. I was scared as hell. I moved to a different place. We had the house to ourselves, everything like that. But I was excited. We was ready. So because my family was in Jersey, we told his mom and dad. Well, his mom first. His dad was a truck driver. And she said, excuse my French, but I'm going to cut it very nicely, okay? She said, you pregnant? So I said, yeah. I've been getting sick and stuff like that. So because my mom is not here in North Carolina, I would like you to go with me to the doctors if you don't mind. So I can really know for sure because I haven't seen my menstrual or anything like that. And I know I've been getting really sick. She said, that's not my grandbaby. That's not going to be my grandbaby. So I'm like, well, why not? I didn't understand. Because it's going to come back. It's going to come out black like you. And I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit with you. You black trifling bee and all. I'm like, what the hell is this? So, X get up. And he get like, well, what are we going to do? She's like, you have to abort it. So I was like, okay, well, abort what? What is abortion? I knew what abort was, but I just played a little naive at the time because I'm like, is this lady serious right now? She telling 2 teenager kids who that to abort something because of color of skin and you don't know what the baby gonna look like until I actually have it? Like, really? Okay. So I'm devastated. So then she just said, can you please leave my house? That bastard is not going to be gonna have nothing to do with me and things like that. Okay. So again, his father's still on the road, don't know what's going on. So we find somewhere, and I was working at the time at Ninny's. as a waitress. So of course I had tips and money. So he she gave him his half to literally abort it for me to get an abortion, and I paid some of my money to get an abortion. So on the way there, I cried. I'm like, let's just keep it. He was like, no, my mom said it's not going to be good. I'm going to ruin my life. Because he was into football. If I get a football scholarship and go off to college, then what? We're going to have this baby. It's going to be hard and so forth. So I said, okay. So I went and got an abortion. And it just took so much of me. Just hearing her say the things that she said to me was just unbelievable. And you know how I had to hide what I did. Actually, before I did get the abortion, I had went to Jersey. I had went home. We had went home for a family emergency. Somebody in our family was sick before that happened, and my grandmother was still alive at the time, and she knew I was pregnant. But I never said anything. I never told nobody, and it hurts me to this day. But my grandmother knew. Because I was getting sick and just how I was. She just knew. My mom didn't know. Nobody knew but my grandmother. And I told her what the lady said to me. And she said, you gonna let somebody else take something from you? And it hurt my grandmother so bad that she cried. I'm sorry. And my grandmother's a very, very strong lady when she was here. So to see that hurt, it just tore my soul up. And because I knew I wasn't able to keep the baby because of his mother, I just kept doing I did wicked things. I had, like, my friends from Jersey knew I was in town. I went out partying all night, stayed at my girlfriend's house. I was drinking. I didn't care because I knew I wasn't going to keep the baby anyway. And my grandmother was like, some things that we do, we regret in the long run. And I was like, I'll be all right. And I was kind of like mean to her. And I felt bad. So I just was drinking. And a guy I used to date, he was like I'm going to say I had 2 high school sweethearts. He was like one of my high school sweethearts. He was my first high school sweetheart, actually. Okay. Whew. Sorry, guys. He was my first high school sweetheart. And you know how when you kids, you just do stupid stuff? Yeah, I was doing stupid stuff. And I was just mad at myself. I was just angry. So, our time here was up. I felt we had to go back to North Carolina or whatever the case may be. So when I went back, I had to get this abortion because the baby it was growing and I was getting sicker and things like that. I couldn't literally keep nothing down because every time I went to his mother's house, I had to stay outside or I had to stay in the car till he did what he had to do. If I had to use the bathroom, I couldn't use the other bathroom. I had to use one bathroom, use the bathroom, come right out. I usually had to have water on me just to avoid or whatever. If I say hi, she say hi. Don't look at me or nothing like that. She treated me like I was just 100% trash and no good or whatever for her son. So when I finally got it done, it was like some kind of relief off my back. And then it seemed like he kind of resent me for a while. Then he started bashing me. He started telling me that I can't think for myself. I'm not going to be smart. I'm not going to amount to nothing and this, that. I mean, he took me through hell with the verbal abuse. I never knew that a person could talk to another individual like that until I was with him and his mother. I mean, whoa, I was just nothing. And then my aunt got sick and she got kind of crazy. Then she started verbal abusing me, she started giving me verbal abuse as well. He not good for you. He should be with your cousin. He's like, she like, they're gonna have a like baby. His mother would have accepted it. Da 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 da. So I'm taking on this side of the stick from family. I'm taking on this side of the stick from from his mother, or whatever the case may be. Because I had to work the same day I got the abortion. I had went to work when my doctor specifically told me, because it was bad, because I kept getting sick. I couldn't keep nothing down. My stress was up. I was like up and down in weight. I was just dehydrated and everything, and it was horrible. And that night I was in like so much pain and there's so much everything. And after that, everything just with me and ex just changed. He started cheating on me. I mean, every possible thing. Then he found out his dad was cheating on his mom. He just thought that was the proper way of doing things. He said, he couldn't be with me because I ain't have a backbone. I let people run over me. My family says what they want to say to me. Things like that. And it was just horrible. And one night I had got to a point where I just couldn't take it no more. And me and his aunt was really good. I'm not going to say good friends, but she was there for me when I needed it, because she went through a lot of different things. And ex-mother and aunt was sisters, and she cast her out because of one of her kids, and then the father. That's a whole nother story and another 300 videos. But anyway, I got pregnant by ex again. And this time, we was going to keep it. I was older, a little older. I was in my 20s at the time. No. I thought I was. Nope. She found out. Had a cow. I was every bitch you can think of. I had to have another abortion. So that was 2 abortions. And at 18 or 19, and then probably another one, 22 to 23. And to this day, I think because of that, and then I had one bad miscarriage by my second high school sweetheart. I don't even think he was my sweetheart, but we went to school together and we was crazy about each other. And I had a really bad miscarriage. I didn't even know that I was pregnant by him. And to this day, he can't stand me because he think I got an abortion, but I never did. Never got an abortion. I actually lost the baby. And if I would have knew I was pregnant, I wouldn't have been working out like crazy. I wouldn't have been going out. I wouldn't have been, was I drinking at the time? I don't think I was drinking at the time. I'm not a heavy drinker. I just, whatever I feel like it, or if I'm going through something, I feel like I just want to relax and release, I'll drink. But it'd be like one drink and I'm done. But anyway, but back to ex. So, yeah, she made me get the second abortion. The second abortion, I did the same thing. I went right back to work. I didn't love myself, and I didn't really care what happened to me. Then I met this older guy. I said, then me and ex was off and on in a relationship and breaking up, because he kept breaking up with me because he was cheating on me. But with the cheating, he would sit outside. He threatened people he thought I was talking to. He threatened me. He put his hands on me. He used to choke me and things like that. So this individual, the reason why I'm telling all this and really saying that we got to make changes, I have to make changes, is because this shit is real. This low self-esteem shit is so real. And when you feel like you're not worthy of nothing, it could take you in a head spin that is unbelievable. It takes you to a place where you feel like you high. Because one night, everybody who from the North Carolina, you know how the space is. If you've never been, Google North Carolina. I'm pretty sure you can find open road. There's always roads, and it's just roads, and you have to have a car. It's not like a New York, you walk around the corner, there's a bodega or X, Y, and Z, or if you're in Jersey, same thing, or New Brunswick, etc., etc. You have to have a car in North Carolina. It is what it is. And where I was living, from where his aunt was living, and where he was living, it was far. One night, I was just rocking and crying and rocking and crying because he came to the house so we can have sex. After the sex, he said, I don't love you. I could never love you. I'm with somebody else. She had brothers. I'm kind of scared of them. They might kick my ass. I said, oh, really? He said, but your sex is better than her sex. So I'm like, she's a church girl, so it's like we can barely do it because she got a family full. She's in school, she's this and she that. So I'm looking at him. So I said, so what is this? He said nothing. I just wanted to have sex. So he said, but I gotta go now. I have to get up in the morning and take her to school. She's gonna be something. She wanted to be a doctor, a nurse, or some crap. I don't know exactly what it was, but she's gonna be something. So I said, okay. I sat there and I looked at him. My eyes watered up and I rocked. I said, you just came here for sex? I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. I don't know what inside me snapped. Something just snapped. And I smacked the shit out of him. I think I called him every MF, everything I could possibly think of that was in my body. I said, I hate you. I hate you so much. You disgust me. You was the worst thing that ever could happen in my life. The things that you mentally took from me, physically took from me, just everything you took from me, it just disgusts me about you. So we tussled, and I finally got him out of the house. And I had a car at the time, and he took my car keys, and I couldn't go nowhere. He said, "You're not going nowhere, whatever." I finally pushed him out the house, but he had my car keys, and I'm like, "Give me my car keys." So then I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there. I didn't know what to do. He had my car keys. I had to go to work in the morning. I had to drive to work, and I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So I just blacked out, and I'm walking, and I'm like, I think I didn't even have no shoes on. I had on socks and some shorts or something, and a t-shirt. It was hot. North Carolina was hot at the time. And I'm walking and crying, and I'm beating myself in the head, trying to figure out what the hell did I do wrong? Why did I deserve this? This is my karma for all the crazy stuff? This is my karma for killing my 2 kids? This is my karma for just for being disobedient to my grandmother at the time? I said, what was this? I was praying to God, trying to figure out why was this my sorrow? Why was this happening to me? And I didn't get no answers. I didn't love myself. I hated it. I found glass. I tried to cut my wrist. It wouldn't cut. I had scars. They went away now. But I used to have scars all over here when I tried to cut my wrist and kill myself, and it just wouldn't cut. I went to his house. I said, I just want my keys. I said, please just call him. He won't answer my calls. I said, I just want my car and keys, and I'll go home. So he finally came to his aunt's house. He was like, she's stupid. Why would she walk all the way over here? It was just like chaos. I was like, I couldn't deal with it. So then after that, she made me go to sleep in her house, and then she was like, in the morning, take a cab to go back home. You got your keys, everything. I mean, he took me through hell. So this person that I'm really referring to, I'm just gonna pray for her, continue to talk to her, and be a friend to her. Sometimes we just need a friend and or just someone to listen. Because without those things, sometimes it can be really screwed up badly. And because of the things that I went through, I pushed a lot of people away. But I had like one person actually 2 people in my life that believed in me, and that meant so much more to me than anything that I could probably ever say I accomplished. That was like the most phenomenal feeling ever. I don't know where they at to this day, but they have helped me get my high school diploma. Because during the times of all the chaos and everything, school wasn't of interest. I couldn't stay in school. I couldn't deal with it. I was just too freaking stressed out for those type of things, and I didn't do it. So when I finally was able to move back to Jersey, sorry guys, I went back to Adult Learning Center and got my high school diploma in 2004. A lot of people don't know that. No, I never told, but I'm sharing it with you guys. Yes, I was 24, 25, and I was dating this older guy. And I didn't even tell him. I really didn't even tell him. And I had met a really, really good friend of mine in that school because she was going for it also. And we became really, really good friends. I loved her so very much. We're not friends no longer. But I always wish her well. I truly wish her well. I don't wish anything bad for her. I love her to this day. It's just sometimes in life, what I learned is for a minimum amount of time. Everybody's not meant to be there forever. And everybody can't give you what you need. No. You know, everybody can't give you what you need. It's not going to happen. But I wish her well. I wish her well. That was an emotional headspin too, because we did so many crazy things together, and that will forever go down with me to my grave. Nobody would never know what the crazy stuff we did, but we had fun. We had a lot of fun, I must say. Sorry. We had a lot of fun, and I don't regret none of it at all. None at all. But anyway. So, anyway, back to the 2 ladies that gave me my strength. I can't remember. One was a Caucasian lady when I was signing up for school, and I just had a stink-ass attitude. And so I left, and I finally came back. And I just didn't want to hear what she had to say. And she said, listen, I got my shit. So I looked at her like, hold up, who you think you talking to? She said, I'm talking to you. I done seen enough young girls who have potential, who are beautiful, that been through shit in their life. She said, you came here. We didn't come get you. We didn't know you was here. We didn't know where you were at. To do something with yourself and to better yourself. Because obvious you know that you need X, Y, and Z to get what you need. And I looked at her like, okay. She caught my attention because I ain't know what to say. She said, now, either you want to stay here, do what you got to do, and I will assist you the best way I can, or she said you can leave. The door is always there. I'm not holding you. I'm not keeping you. And I just looked at her like, okay. So I sat up in that chair, and I said I would like to apply to get my high school diploma. She said, well, we're going to pull your old transcripts from Plainfield High School, see where you at, and we're going to tell you what you need to get your high school diploma. So I said, okay, no problem. I said, but it's been a long time. She said, you in Plainfield, doesn't matter. We affiliated, tongue-tied there, sorry guys, so it shouldn't be no problem. So she said, well, come back tomorrow, and when we get what we need from them, we'll just call you back down. Or, matter of fact, you check in every day or whatever. And will tell you X, Y, and Z. So I said, okay. At the time, the dean of the adult learning center was Dr. Alexander. I think her last name was Alexander. It's been a long time. It's been years. And she was in a sorority. I can't remember because she even invited me to something that they had. And that was like phenomenal. I mean, it was really phenomenal. She really took her time to like build me up, build my self-esteem back up, and have a certain type of confidence in myself. So, and I finally got everything together. I didn't need a lot of credits, but I needed a lot of credits. It doesn't make sense, but that's how exactly it was. And I started out doing my high school diploma. Some days it wasn't easy. Some days it was phenomenal. And then you know how you get that one person who tries you and you explain to them and they set in their ways. But because me and the dean had to develop a relationship and she was helping me, like I didn't like to read when I was younger. My vocabulary was horrible. The slang and, you know, you hip, you trying to be hip, whatever, it was way down. She let me read a book called The Pack. No, actually, that was in the English class I had. She made me read books. She gave me different books and made me read them. Whatever word I didn't know, she had me underline them and define and get the definition. And then when I came to talk to her, we talked basically every single day. She took her time out just so we can have a half an hour to an hour just to talk and go over the words and things like that. And she could explain things to me. So this teacher, I was actually going to school and working. I was working 11 to 7. So when I get off, because class started like 8, and where I was working, where school was, it was really a distance. And sometimes I would catch the morning traffic. So I would tell her that I'd be like 5 to 10 minutes late. And she hated when people were tardy for a class. But because I was coming from work, most of the teachers understood. So, okay. So every day she would give me a problem. So I said, listen, not for nothing, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you. But I come to late because I come into school late because I have work. I'm coming from work. I work at night. So she said, that's the problem with y'all black girls. Y'all don't want nothing in life. And I'm like, what do you mean? I wouldn't be here if I didn't want anything. So I'm trying to listen to what Dr. Adams. That's what it was. It wasn't Alexander. Dr. Adams. That's what it was. Sorry, guys. I had to remember her name. So what Dr. Adams knows and the office knows that the reason why I'm coming late, and they gave me an exception, and they pretty much know. So she said, I don't care about them. They don't run my class. So Dr. Adams always said if I have any trouble with any of my teachers to let her know. So she was going in. She filled my paper. She was giving me the ringer. She gave me the run for my money. And she gave me this book called The Pack. We had to do a report on it. That book was phenomenal. I really, really recommend it. I'm going to try to find it in my book collection so I can show you the cover so y'all can check it out as well. And I'll probably leave it in the description below. The Pack. The book called The Pack. So you can check if y'all want to check it out. It's a really good book. So I improved my comprehension, my reading, and things because of Dr. Adam. I will always, always appreciate her and I love her. The reason why I mentioned her and the other lady, I really feel bad I cannot remember her name. She was one spunky little, she was a tiny little thing, Caucasian woman. And she loved to date, boy. She would date her young man and go and do what she had to do. She had a really bad divorce, abusive, mental, etc. And when she finally got the divorce, he took her for a ringer, but she kept her faith, and she did what she had to do, and she would go out and party, get drunk, she said, and have fun with her girlfriends. And that's what gave me my boost to build my confidence back. And did I get confidence? Sometimes you get too much damn confidence. But as time went on, I started to lose a portion of that. I still have confidence. Don't get it twisted. I do have my confidence. But I don't have it like I used to. And that's how I lost my oomph. the whole point of this video today is just to really basically talk about changing oneself. You have to, instead of being that downfall, you have to be that motivator for self and for someone else. And the reason why I say self, because once somebody see what you're giving off, they will definitely apply themselves to certain things. So I have to change. I really have to change certain things about myself, and I have to get to a point where I have to stick to it. So you never know what you're going to see. I will definitely improve on my videos as well. I really feel that this opportunity right here will be something worth my while. And I know that my introductions have been dry. Like, hey, this is Code 10. No, that's gonna have to change up too. And I have to change my scenery as well. I'm thinking of how can I maneuver some things in the house to change up as well. I think I really got to get on the ball with a lot of different things. But that's just a little bit brief of what today is about. Changing oneself or build self-esteem. I'm not sure what the title will be for today, but it will be change or build up self-esteem. I'm gonna say I don't know what it is, but this is a really long video today because it just things we talk about and the actions that we do sometimes really, you have to stop and observe them and think about them and be like, did I really do that, or did I really say that? Sometimes we never know who we hurting and what edge would they push, how we pushing that person to the ledge, I should say. Truthfully, I don't want to be a bully. It's not cute. And at the end of the day, when you go at somebody who's being a bully and then you being hypocritical and you're a bully, it doesn't sit well. And that's one thing I don't want to, like I told you from the beginning, you will never see me this way, you will never see me that way, and I will never come at you the best of my intentions, not with a false pretense, and I don't want to be that person. So if this is going to be something that I am doing to motivate another individual, then that's what the whole thing on my videos would be about, you know? And I would like to say to those who ever watch, and if I ever did you wrong, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. That was never my intentions. When you go through the things that one goes through, you will understand. You might not have been through what I've been through, and I haven't been through what you've been through. And our stories may be different or they may be similar, but just happen in different formats. You know, so I just want to say, like I always say, I'm just going to close it with that. Be sweet, be safe, and blessed. And I forever will love you guys. And thank you for listening. And sorry about the waterworks, but some things was meant to be expressed differently. And that was a cleansing for today. I think I needed to cry. You know, maybe I needed to cry for someone today that couldn't cry for themselves. So, definitely worth it. Alright guys, I'm gonna go. This is a long video this time. And I'm gonna go take off this lay front and put on one of my curly wigs now. Because I am tired of looking like the nice girl here. I want to look wild and crazy like I normally do. Anyway, I love you guys. Until next time, be sweet, be safe, and blessed. Said it twice this time. Gotcha. Bye.